John leaned against the railing inside the large viewing deck, staring out at the endless stars that filled the vast blackness of space. The space station was located far from Earth, serving as a peaceful meeting point between humans and various alien races. John had only been stationed there for a few months, and every day felt strange and new. He had never imagined he would end up here, far away from home and everything familiar. Yet, here he was, assigned to maintain good relations with alien visitors. His days consisted mostly of ensuring everyone felt comfortable and welcomed, a task he handled quite well due to his calm nature and friendly personality. One day, John received news that a new diplomatic mission was arriving. An alien woman named Lyra, from a species known as the Ilari, was scheduled to visit. The Ilari were known for their graceful appearance, soft voices, and peaceful nature. John had never met one personally, but he had heard many good things about them. He was eager and slightly nervous about meeting Lyra. When the day finally arrived, John stood ready in the main hangar. The shuttle carrying Lyra arrived quietly, gliding effortlessly into position. The doors slid open with a gentle hiss, and Lyra stepped out. John caught his breath for a moment. She was tall, slender, and graceful, with pale blue skin that seemed almost to glow softly under the station's lights. Her eyes were a deep, luminous green, and her movements were gentle and deliberate. John stepped forward and greeted her with a polite nod. "Welcome to our station," he said softly. "I am John, and I'm here to assist you during your visit." Lyra turned her eyes towards him and smiled warmly. "Thank you, John. I'm pleased to meet you." As they walked together down the corridors, John found himself frequently glancing in her direction. He was fascinated by her elegance and gentle manner. Each step she took was graceful, as if she floated rather than walked. Noticing his attention, Lyra turned to him with a puzzled expression. "Why are you looking at me like that, human?" she asked, her voice curious and soft. John quickly felt his face heat up slightly, embarrassed to be caught staring. "I'm sorry," he responded quickly. "It's just that ... Your people are so graceful and elegant. I've never met anyone quite like you before." Lyra paused, looking directly into his eyes. In that brief moment, John felt as though she could see straight into him. Her eyes softened even more, filling with understanding and curiosity. "And I have never met anyone quite like you either," she said gently. From that moment on, their interactions became more comfortable. John showed her around the station, explaining human technology and culture. Lyra listened attentively, fascinated by everything he shared. She asked many questions, her gentle voice encouraging him to speak freely. John enjoyed their conversations and found himself looking forward to their meetings each day. As days passed, John and Lyra spent more and more time together. Their conversations became deeper, moving from formal discussions about technology and diplomacy to more personal topics. Lyra shared stories of her home planet, a peaceful world filled with vast oceans and glowing forests. John described Earth, with its bustling cities, sprawling nature, and diverse cultures. One afternoon, while observing the stars together in the viewing deck, Lyra turned to John thoughtfully. "It is interesting," she began softly, "how two very different worlds could have so much to share." John nodded, smiling. "Yes, it really is amazing. That's why this place exists, to help us understand each other better and build friendships." "Friendship," Lyra repeated thoughtfully, looking at John with gentle eyes. "I did not know humans could feel friendship so quickly." "We can," John replied warmly, "especially when we meet someone as kind and understanding as you." Lyra's eyes shone brightly as she smiled. "You are very kind, John." As the days continued, John noticed a slight tension building in the station. There were whispers among the crew about increasing disagreements between some human diplomats and alien visitors. John was concerned, knowing how fragile peace could be in a place filled with such diverse cultures. One evening, John was quietly working in his quarters when he received an urgent message from the station commander. "John, the commander said firmly. "There have been issues reported from both humans and aliens. Tensions are rising. We need you and Lyra to help ease these tensions." John agreed quickly, understanding the importance of their roles. He found Lyra and explained the situation. Her face became serious, but her voice remained gentle. "We will do whatever we can to help." John and Lyra began speaking to both humans and aliens, urging calm and patience. John admired how effectively Lyra communicated, her soothing presence, and sincere words helping to ease worries on all sides. Together, they managed to reduce the immediate tension, bringing a temporary sense of calm back to the station. That night, exhausted from their efforts, John and Lyra returned to the viewing deck, gazing quietly at the endless expanse of stars. Lyra turned to John, her eyes filled with quiet admiration. "Thank you for being here with me today. I could not have done this alone." "Neither could I," John admitted softly, looking deeply into her eyes. "We make a good team." "Yes, we do," Lyra agreed gently. She paused for a moment, thoughtful, before speaking again. "You know, I wondered before why you looked at me so much when we first met." John chuckled softly, feeling warmth spread through him. "Well, now you know." Lyra smiled warmly, her eyes twinkling with gentle humor. "Yes, I do, and I'm glad." John felt a strong sense of peace standing beside her, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, he and Lyra would face them together. After their successful efforts to calm the tensions aboard the space station, John and Lyra grew even closer. They frequently met to discuss how to improve relations between humans and aliens, but their conversations often wandered into personal interests and stories. John found himself fascinated by everything Lyra shared, from the gentle customs of her home planet to her dreams of universal peace. One morning, while John was going about his daily tasks, he received a message from Lyra, inviting him to join her for breakfast in the station's dining area. He quickly agreed, feeling a rush of excitement at the thought of spending more time with her daughter. When John arrived, Lyra was already seated at a small table near the large viewing windows. The dining area was quiet and peaceful at this hour, with only a few crew members scattered around. Lyra greeted John with a warm smile, her green eyes bright with happiness. "Good morning, John," she said softly, motioning for him to sit. "I hope you slept well." "Good morning, Lyra," John replied, settling into the chair across from her. "I slept fine, thanks. What about you?" "Very well," Lyra answered. "I found myself looking forward to this breakfast. It is good to start the day with a friend." John smiled warmly, feeling his cheeks flush slightly. "I agree. It's great to see you too." As they ate, their conversation drifted comfortably. They spoke about small things, enjoying the easy companionship they had developed. Yet, John could sense Lyra had something else on her mind, something important she wanted to share. After a short pause, Lyra set her utensils down gently and looked seriously at John. "There is something I must tell you," she began carefully. "I received news from my planet. There are concerns among my people about the increasing tensions here." John listened carefully, sensing the worry behind her words. "What exactly are their concerns?" Lyra sighed softly, her eyes filled with genuine worry. "They fear conflict might arise again between our people and humans. Some of my leaders believe peace is too fragile to last." "We can't let that happen," John said firmly. "We've worked hard to keep peace. Maybe we need to show everyone how well humans and Alari can cooperate." Lyra nodded thoughtfully. "Yes, perhaps a demonstration of unity and understanding would help." After breakfast, John and Lyra quickly developed a plan. They proposed hosting an event showcasing the cultural heritage of both humans and Alari. The station commander approved their idea enthusiastically, recognizing it as a positive step toward maintaining harmony. Preparations for the event began immediately. John organized a group of human crew members to present traditional human music and foods. Lyra worked alongside her fellow Alari, arranging displays of beautiful artifacts and graceful performances of their own cultural dances. Everyone involved felt excitement, and hoped that the event would build stronger bonds. The day of the event arrived quickly. The space station buzzed with activity as crew members and visitors gathered in the main hall, decorated beautifully with colorful banners and lights. John was busy setting up the last details of the human displays when Lyra approached, looking radiant and graceful. "Everything looks wonderful," she said softly, her eyes filled with joy. "Thank you for working so hard, John." "It's been a pleasure," John responded warmly. "I really hope this helps everyone see how much we have in common." As the event began, John and Lyra stood side by side, welcoming visitors warmly. They explained displays, encouraged questions, and fostered lively conversations. John noticed how effortlessly Lyra engaged with everyone, her gentle nature putting even the most reserved visitors at ease. Halfway through the event, John noticed two groups from different species having a tense discussion in a corner. Concerned, he approached quietly, with Lyra following closely behind. "Is everything all right here?" John asked gently, hoping to calm the tension. One human diplomat turned, visibly upset. "We were just discussing the recent sabotage incidents. Some believe aliens are responsible." Before John could speak, Lyra stepped forward gracefully. "Such incidents affect all of us," she said calmly. "It is important we find the truth together, not place blame based on fear." John nodded in agreement. "Lyra is right. Unity is our strength. Let's stay focused on cooperation." The diplomat hesitated, then sighed deeply. "Perhaps you're right. Apologies for my harsh words." The tense moment passed, and the groups dispersed peacefully. John turned to Lyra gratefully. "Thank you for handling that so well." "We did it together," Lyra replied softly, smiling warmly. "I could not have done it without your support." The remainder of the event continued smoothly, visitors becoming more relaxed as the evening progressed. By the end, a genuine sense of camaraderie filled the hall, and many expressed gratitude for the experience. As they cleaned up afterward, John and Lyra found themselves alone again. John felt a sense of deep satisfaction knowing their efforts had made a difference. He turned to Lyra, who was thoughtfully gazing out into space through a large viewing window. "Do you think we succeeded?" John asked quietly. Lyra turned, her eyes bright with warmth. "Yes, I believe we did. Perhaps this will be the beginning of a stronger, lasting peace." John smiled, feeling hope rising within him. "We make a great team, Lyra." "Indeed we do," she agreed gently. They stood silently for a moment, gazing at the stars beyond the window. Eventually, Lyra spoke softly. "I never imagined finding such friendship with a human." "And I never imagined meeting someone like you," John replied sincerely. "You've shown me how important it is to understand others." Lyra smiled warmly, stepping closer. "You have taught me much as well, John. Perhaps we can teach both our peoples how to find harmony together." "I believe we can," John said firmly, feeling a strong sense of purpose. "As long as we're working together." Lyra nodded, her expression filled with determination and warmth. Together, they knew they could face any challenge, united by trust and friendship. After the successful cultural event, John and Lyra became known throughout the station as symbols of cooperation and friendship. Their presence together encouraged both humans and aliens to communicate openly and resolve issues calmly. However, tension still lingered beneath the surface, and John sensed that their work was far from complete. One afternoon, while John was working in the communication center, a sudden alert flashed across his console. There had been another incident, an attempt to damage vital equipment near the engineering bay. John quickly left to investigate, feeling worried about the station's fragile peace. When he arrived, he found a group of human and alien engineers arguing heatedly. Emotions ran high as accusations flew between both sides. John stepped in firmly but calmly, raising his hands to quiet them down. "Please, let's not fight," he urged gently. "We need to find out what really happened here. Blaming each other won't help." At first, the engineers continued arguing, but John remained patient. Slowly, They began to calm down, recognizing the sincerity in his voice. Just as things seemed under control, Lyra arrived, her presence instantly bringing a sense of calm. She moved gracefully to John's side, looking at the group with gentle eyes. "Let us look at this together calmly," she suggested softly. Agreeing. The engineers showed John and Lyra the damaged equipment. John examined it closely, noticing something strange. There were signs of precise tampering, far too deliberate for accidental damage. "Someone clearly did this on purpose," John said seriously. "But why? Who would benefit from causing more tension?" Lyra nodded thoughtfully, looking troubled. "We need to find who is behind this quickly, before things get worse." Together, they gathered evidence and began discreetly asking questions around the station. John admired Lyra's gentle yet effective way of speaking with everyone, gathering useful information without causing fear or suspicion. Their investigation led them to suspect a small faction within the Ilari delegation. John was careful, knowing how delicate this situation was. He discussed it privately with Lyra, who seemed deeply saddened by the possibility. "Could it really be someone from my own people?" she asked softly, her eyes filled with concern. "It's possible," John admitted gently, "but we need to be sure. Let's continue carefully." As they continued their investigation, John and Lyra spent even more time together. Their bond grew stronger, driven by mutual trust and respect. During long hours of careful work, they found comfort and strength in each other's company. One evening, after a particularly tiring day, John and Lyra sat quietly together in the observation deck, gazing at the stars. The beauty and peacefulness of the endless space helped ease their worries. Lyra turned toward John, her eyes serious yet warm. "John, do you ever feel overwhelmed by all this responsibility?" she asked softly. John took a deep breath, meeting her gaze with honesty. "Sometimes, yes, but knowing I'm not alone makes it easier. You're here, and that helps more than you know." Lyra smiled softly, visibly touched. "I feel the same. Your support means a lot to me." The next morning, John received an urgent message from the station commander. Another incident had occurred, this time near the life support systems. John hurried to the location. With Lyra close behind, they arrived to find the damage was minor but clearly deliberate. John noticed something new, a small device left behind, partially hidden. He carefully retrieved it, exchanging a meaningful glance with Lyra. "We need to analyze this," John whispered. They brought the device to the science lab, where John and Lyra examined it carefully. The analysis showed it was designed specifically to cause mistrust, not major damage. Someone clearly wanted to break down the piece without causing severe harm. As John and Lyra considered their next move, an unexpected visitor arrived, a young Ilari named Mira, looking anxious and frightened. "Please, I must speak with you," Myra said urgently. "I overheard members of my delegation talking. They are planning something bigger, something dangerous. They believe peace with humans weakens our people." John and Lyra listened carefully, grateful for Myra's courage in coming forward. Lyra placed a gentle hand on Myra's shoulder. "Thank you for telling us. This must have been difficult for you." Myra nodded, clearly relieved but still fearful. "I want peace like you do." "Please, you must stop them." John promised they would handle it carefully. After Myra left, John and Lyra quickly made a plan. They knew they had to act fast and cautiously. They arranged to gather evidence against the faction, hoping to present it before any further harm was done. Working tirelessly, John and Lyra discreetly recorded conversations, gathered physical evidence, and pieced together a clear picture of the faction's intentions. John was impressed by Lyra's determination and calm resolve, which kept their mission focused and effective. One night, after a particularly stressful day, Lyra joined John for dinner in the station's quiet dining area. They sat close, speaking quietly and reassuring each other. "We're almost there," John said gently, offering a comforting smile. "Soon we'll stop this once and for all." "Yes," Lyra agreed softly, her eyes shining with hope. It is difficult, but together I believe we will succeed. The following morning, they finally had enough proof to confront the leaders of both humans and Ilari on the station. John felt tense but confident, knowing they had done everything possible. They gathered the station leaders together, presenting their findings clearly and calmly. John watched as shock and disbelief crossed the faces of those present. However, he continued steadily, supported by Lyra's reassuring presence. That at first, there was resistance. Accusations and anger rose again. But John remained patient, allowing Lyra's gentle voice to help ease tensions. Together, they patiently explained each piece of evidence, showing clearly who was responsible and why. Slowly, anger turned to understanding and concern. The leaders from both sides agreed action must be taken swiftly. The individuals involved were detained and measures were put in place to prevent further incidents. Finally, after intense discussions and careful agreements, John and Lyra felt relief and satisfaction. Peace had been preserved, and their efforts had made a lasting difference. Later that evening, John and Lyra returned once again to the quiet observation deck. They stood silently for a while, watching the stars together, reflecting on everything they had overcome. Lyra turned to John, her eyes full of warmth and admiration. "Thank you, John. Without you, none of this would have been possible. We did it together," John said sincerely. "Our partnership made the difference." Lyra smiled softly, nodding in agreement. "Yes, and together, we will continue protecting the peace we cherish." John felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing their unity had overcome suspicion and mistrust. Standing beside Lyra, he felt ready to face whatever future challenges awaited them, confident in their friendship and mutual respect. After the confrontation with the faction causing trouble, life aboard the space station began to settle down. John and Lyra remained close, working together to repair trust and encourage understanding between humans and aliens. They frequently met with station leaders, discussing ways to strengthen relationships and prevent further problems. One morning, John and Lyra were invited to an important diplomatic meeting. Representatives from various species had gathered to discuss future plans for cooperation. John felt honored but also a bit nervous. He knew how fragile peace could still be. As John entered the conference room with Lyra by his side, he noticed tension among some of the delegates. Several alien representatives appeared wary and distant, still unsure if trust could be fully restored. John and Lyra took their seats quietly, waiting patiently for the meeting to start. The station commander began by reviewing recent events and expressing gratitude to everyone who helped maintain peace. The commander then asked John and Lyra to speak. John stood first, speaking clearly and sincerely. "We faced difficult challenges recently, but we've also learned something important. Unity is our greatest strength. We must never let suspicion or fear divide us again." Lyra spoke next, her gentle voice carrying clearly. "John and I have seen firsthand how misunderstandings can harm us all. It is vital we always communicate openly and honestly. Only then can we build lasting friendships." The delegates listened carefully. Some nodded thoughtfully, while others remained unsure. As the meeting continued, John and Lyra observed that many delegates still held reservations, despite their best efforts. After the meeting, John and Lyra decided to take a walk to discuss their next steps. As they moved through the quiet corridors, they noticed something strange: a group of unfamiliar figures moving quietly towards the main power core. Feeling uneasy, John signaled to Lyra to follow silently. They kept their distance but stayed close enough to observe the group. John saw they carried tools and small devices, clearly intending something harmful. "We need to alert security," John whispered urgently. Before they could act, one of the figures noticed them and shouted. Immediately, chaos erupted. The group scattered, but not before triggering a small explosive device near the corridor wall. John quickly shielded Lyra, pulling her safely into a side hallway as alarms blared throughout the station. "Are you all right?" John asked breathlessly. "Yes, thanks to you," Lyra responded, Clearly shaken but calm. The station was now in lockdown. Lights flashing urgently as security teams arrived quickly. John explained what had happened, giving detailed descriptions of the individuals involved. Realizing the station was under threat once more, John and Lyra joined the security team's efforts to locate the group responsible. They split into teams, carefully searching corridors and key areas. John stayed close to Lyra, determined to keep her safe. As they moved through the station, they encountered evidence of further tampering and sabotage. Each discovery deepened John's concern. Whoever these intruders were, they had carefully planned their actions to disrupt the fragile peace once again. After hours of tense searching, John and Lyra finally spotted one of the intruders attempting to access a critical control room. Acting swiftly, John signaled security while moving carefully to confront the intruder. "Stop!" John shouted, his voice firm yet controlled. The intruder spun around, panic in his eyes. Seeing John and Lyra standing together, the intruder hesitated briefly, then turned and tried to escape. John quickly blocked his path, preventing him from fleeing. "Who are you? Why are you doing this?" John asked firmly. The intruder remained silent, glaring angrily. Security arrived moments later, restraining the intruder securely. John and Lyra followed security back to the command center, where the station commander awaited anxiously. "This is worse than we thought," the commander admitted gravely. "We must find out exactly who these people are and what they want." John and Lyra agreed, knowing time was critical. They volunteered to help interrogate the captured intruder, hoping to gain useful information quickly. The interrogation room was small and quiet. John observed carefully as security questioned the intruder, who initially refused to speak. Noticing this, Lyra stepped forward gently, her presence calm and reassuring. "We don't want more harm," she said softly. "We just want to understand. Please help us prevent more trouble." Her gentle approach slowly began to break through. The intruder finally spoke, reluctantly revealing his involvement. "We're part of a group who believes peace between humans and aliens makes us weak. We wanted to show everyone that unity is impossible." John felt saddened by these words. He knew many still feared change and cooperation. However, he remained determined to prove otherwise. After the interrogation, John and Lyra met privately to discuss what they had learned. "We must show them they are wrong," John said firmly. "Yes," Lyra agreed. "We have to prove unity is our greatest strength." Working tirelessly, John and Lyra developed a plan to reinforce cooperation. They suggested creating joint human-alien teams to repair damages caused by the sabotage. This initiative aimed to visibly demonstrate unity and mutual support. The station commander agreed enthusiastically, immediately organizing the mixed teams. John and Lyra personally led one group, carefully directing efforts to restore vital systems and strengthen security. As humans and aliens worked side by side, something remarkable happened. Initial mistrust and hesitation quickly gave way to genuine teamwork and friendship. John observed smiles and supportive gestures exchanged among team members. Even those previously hesitant found themselves cooperating willingly. One evening, exhausted yet satisfied, John and Lyra shared a quiet moment observing their teams at work. "Look at them," John said softly. "They're proving unity is possible." "Yes," Lyra responded warmly, her eyes glowing with pride. "It gives me hope for our future." By the time repairs were completed, the station atmosphere had significantly improved. Tension eased as everyone saw clear proof of cooperation's benefits. The captured intruders faction quickly lost support, unable to deny the positive results visible to all. Later, John and Lyra stood together in the peaceful observation deck, reflecting on their accomplishments. Stars sparkled brightly beyond the windows, symbolizing hope and endless possibilities. "We've overcome so much," Lyra said softly, her voice filled with quiet admiration. "Because we faced it together," John replied gently. "You show me the importance of patience and understanding." Lyra smiled softly. And you taught me courage and determination. John felt deep gratitude, knowing their partnership had made all the difference. Whatever challenges lay ahead, he knew they could face them confidently, united by trust and friendship. After the recent events, peace slowly returned to the space station. John and Lyra continued working hard, ensuring harmony remained between humans and aliens. They regularly met with different groups, fostering open communication and friendship. Their dedication brought noticeable changes, and the station's atmosphere became positive and hopeful once again. One evening, while John was finishing his daily report, Lyra approached him quietly. She seemed thoughtful, her green eyes serious, yet gentle. "John, may I speak with you privately?" she asked softly. "Of course," John replied, immediately noticing the seriousness in her voice. "Is everything all right?" Lyra hesitated briefly, then spoke clearly. "My home planet's leaders have requested my immediate return. They are concerned about the recent troubles and want to hear directly from me." John felt a sudden heaviness in his heart. "Will you be gone long?" he asked gently, trying to hide his worry. "I am not sure," Lyra admitted softly, her expression troubled. "They did not specify how long. I must help them understand how important this piece is." "I understand," John said calmly, despite feeling uneasy inside. "Your voice will make a difference there, just like it has here." "Thank you, John," Lyra responded softly, clearly touched by his words. "Your support means everything to me." As they stood quietly together, John realized how much he would miss Lyra. Her gentle presence had become deeply important to him, and the thought of her leaving filled him with sadness. The next morning, preparations for Lyra's departure were quickly arranged. Many station residents, both human and alien, gathered to wish her safe travels. Lyra spoke warmly to everyone, reassuring them she would return as soon as possible. Just before boarding her shuttle, Lyra turned to John, her eyes shining with gentle warmth. "Please take care while I'm gone," she said softly. "I promise to come back soon." "I'll be here," John responded quietly, smiling reassuringly despite the ache in his heart. "Waiting for your return." With a gentle wave, Lyra entered her shuttle, the doors closing softly behind her. John watched as the shuttle departed smoothly. Feeling a deep sense of loneliness down over the next few days, John threw himself into his duties, determined to keep busy. He visited different station sections, ensuring morale stayed high and peace remained strong. Yet, despite his best efforts, he found himself frequently thinking about Lyra, wondering how she was doing, and when she would return. One afternoon, John received an unexpected message from Lyra. Seeing her familiar face on the screen filled him with joy and relief. "John," she began gently, "I wanted to update you. My leaders are carefully considering everything I've told them." "They're cautious but hopeful." "That's wonderful," John responded warmly. "I knew you'd make them understand." Lyra smiled softly, her expression slightly wistful. "I miss the station and everyone there, especially you." John felt warmth spread through him. "We miss you too, especially me," he admitted sincerely. As days turned into weeks, John continued receiving regular messages from Lyra. Each conversation brought him comfort and happiness, reassuring him their bond remained strong despite the distance. Yet, he could sense Lyra's frustration as discussions with her leaders progressed slowly. One day, John was called urgently to the command center. There, he received unsettling news. Another unknown group had begun spreading false information about humans and aliens, attempting to reignite tensions. "We need Lyra back here soon," the station commander admitted worriedly. "Her influence can help us counter this misinformation effectively." John immediately contacted Lyra, explaining the situation. Lyra listened carefully, her gentle expression turning serious. "I'll speak with my leaders today," she assured John firmly. "They must understand my presence on the station is crucial." Later that evening, Lyra contacted John again. She appeared determined yet anxious. "My leaders have finally agreed," she announced softly. "I'll be returning soon." John felt immense relief and joy. "That's the best news I've heard," he said warmly. "We need you here more than ever." A few days later, Lyra's shuttle arrived back at the station. John eagerly awaited her in the hangar, feeling his heart race with excitement. When the shuttle doors opened and Lyra stepped out gracefully, John felt a deep sense of happiness. "Welcome back," John greeted her warmly, stepping forward to meet her. Lyra smiled brightly, her green eyes shining. "It's wonderful to see you again, John." As they walked together through the station, John quickly updated Lyra about recent developments. She listened carefully, clearly determined to help restore calm and understanding. Working together again, John and Lyra swiftly developed a strategy to combat the false information. They organized open forums, allowing humans and aliens to speak directly and honestly. Lyra's gentle but persuasive presence quickly helped ease tensions. At one forum, an alien delegate expressed doubts openly. Lyra stepped forward calmly, her voice gentle yet firm. "Trust is built through openness and understanding," she explained softly. "John and I have seen this firsthand. Please, let's continue building trust together." Her sincere words resonated deeply with the attendees, encouraging honest dialogue. John admired how effectively Lyra spoke, her genuine compassion helping bridge gaps between different species. Slowly but surely, their efforts began showing positive results. Residents again began supporting each other openly, actively countering false information. The atmosphere aboard the station improved significantly. One evening, after a particularly successful day, John and Lyra enjoyed a quiet meal together in the dining area. They spoke softly about their hopes and plans for continued cooperation. "We've faced many challenges," Lyra said thoughtfully, her eyes filled with warmth. "Yet, we've overcome each one together." "Yes," John agreed sincerely, feeling deep gratitude. "Our friendship has made all the difference." Lyra smiled gently, clearly moved by his words. "I hope our bond continues strengthening, John." "It means a lot to me." "It does to me as well," John replied quietly, meeting her gaze honestly. As they finished their meal, John felt reassured and hopeful. He knew they would continue working closely, maintaining peace and friendship aboard the station. Standing side by side with Lyra, he felt confident they could face any future challenges together, united by mutual trust and deepening affection. After overcoming recent challenges together, John and Lyra worked tirelessly to strengthen the bonds of friendship and cooperation aboard the space station. Their joint efforts had brought noticeable harmony, yet they both knew continuous effort was needed to maintain lasting peace. One morning, John received an urgent message from the station commander. A group of influential diplomats from both humans and alien species would soon arrive for an important peace summit. John felt honored but also a bit anxious about such a significant responsibility. He quickly met with Lyra to discuss preparations. She appeared calm yet determined, her gentle presence instantly reassuring him. "This summit is crucial," she explained softly. "It could set the course for lasting peace. We'll make sure it succeeds," John replied firmly, feeling encouraged by her confidence. Together, they carefully organized the summit's agenda, ensuring open and respectful discussions among the diplomats. John admired Lyra's thoughtful suggestions, recognizing her deep understanding of both human and alien cultures. As the day of the summit approached, tension aboard the station increased slightly. Many residents felt hopeful but cautious. John and Lyra visited various sections, personally reassuring everyone and encouraging optimism. Finally, the day arrived. John stood beside Lyra at the entrance to the main conference hall, greeting each diplomat warmly. Representatives from various worlds arrived, each expressing hope but also concern. The meeting began smoothly, with the station commander welcoming everyone warmly. John spoke briefly, emphasizing the importance of unity and cooperation. Next, Lyra addressed the gathering, her gentle voice resonating clearly throughout the hall. "We've faced many trials together," she began softly, "but each challenge has shown us that cooperation is our greatest strength. Let us use this opportunity to build lasting understanding and trust." Her sincere words deeply affected those present, visibly easing initial tensions. As discussions continued, John and Lyra carefully guided the diplomats through various topics, ensuring respectful dialogue. However, midway through the summit, an unexpected issue arose. One diplomat, representing a particularly influential alien species, suddenly expressed doubt about the sincerity of humans. Tension quickly spread through the room. John quickly intervened, speaking calmly yet firmly. Trust is built on honesty and patience, he reminded everyone gently. We've all come here seeking peace. Let's remain focused on that goal. Lyra stepped forward gracefully, adding her gentle voice. John and I have learned much about trust. It's delicate but powerful. Please, give each other a chance. The diplomat paused, considering their words carefully. After a moment, he nodded slowly, his expression softening. Perhaps you are right, he admitted reluctantly. John and Lyra exchanged relieved glances, grateful for the renewed calm. The rest of the summit proceeded positively, with open discussions and mutual understanding gradually growing stronger. By evening, diplomats from all sides expressed genuine appreciation for the experience. Many noted the positive influence John and Lyra had on the summit, recognizing their sincere efforts toward peace. After the meeting concluded successfully, John and Lyra walked quietly together through the station corridors. They both felt tired but deeply satisfied. That went well, John said softly, smiling warmly at Lyra. Your words really made a difference today. And your presence helped reassure everyone, Lyra responded gently. We truly make a strong team. As days passed, John and Lyra continued closely monitoring relationships aboard the station. Peace grew steadily, and their successful summit was often mentioned as a turning point. However, both remained aware peace required ongoing care. One afternoon, Lyra received a personal message from her home planet. After reading it, she appeared deeply moved yet thoughtful. She quickly found John, her expression gentle but serious. John, I must speak with you urgently, she said softly. Of course, John responded quickly, sensing the importance of her words. Lyra paused briefly, then continued quietly. My leaders have requested I return again, but this time permanently. They believe my experience here could help guide our future relations with humans from home. John felt a sudden ache in his chest. The thought of Lyra leaving permanently deeply saddened him, yet he recognized the significance of her role. That's an important opportunity, John said softly, his voice steady despite his feelings. They're right. You could help many more people from there. Lyra nodded slowly, her gentle eyes full of emotion. Yet, the idea of leaving you, is very difficult. It's hard for me too, John admitted quietly, meeting her gaze honestly. But our friendship has always been about supporting each other's paths, even if they lead apart. Lyra reached out gently, touching his hand softly. Your friendship has meant everything to me, John. You've taught me so much about courage and kindness. And you've taught me compassion and understanding, John replied warmly, feeling deep gratitude. I'll always carry those lessons with me. They stood quietly for a moment, cherishing their bond. Eventually, Lyra spoke softly, determination filling her voice. Before I leave, let's make sure our work here is secure. We must ensure lasting peace. Agreed, John responded firmly. Let's make every moment count. Together, John and Lyra redoubled their efforts, meeting regularly with various groups to reinforce unity and cooperation. Their genuine dedication inspired many, creating a strong foundation for ongoing harmony. The day of Lyra's departure approached quickly. A farewell gathering was arranged, with many residents attending to express gratitude and best wishes. John watched proudly as Lyra spoke gently to everyone, promising to continue supporting their shared goals from her home planet. Finally, the time came for her to board the shuttle home. Standing beside her, John felt a mix of sadness and pride. Promise you'll stay in touch, John said gently, smiling warmly. Of course, Lyra replied softly, her eyes filled with warmth. Our friendship will always remain strong. As Lyra stepped onto her shuttle, she paused briefly, looking back at John. Thank you for everything, John. Our journey together has been remarkable. Yes, it has, John responded quietly, waving gently as the shuttle doors closed. He stood quietly as Lyra's shuttle departed, reflecting on everything they had experienced together. Although he felt deep sadness at her departure, he also felt immense gratitude for their shared journey. As he returned to his duties aboard the station, John remained determined to honor their work together. He knew lasting peace was possible, inspired by the lessons and friendship he had shared with Lyra. Whatever future challenges lay ahead, John felt confident their bond would continue guiding him forward, supporting unity and hope.